皆さんこんにちは。M システム技研の村上です。シングルループコントローラー SC シリーズは私が指揮を執り M システム技研で独自に開発した最新の PID 調節計です。 PID 調節計の理想の姿を追求して計装のノウハウを盛り込み最新技術を用いて完成させました。美しく操作性に優れたタッチパネル機能付き液晶表示器や電子 S にも劣らない制御演算機能など SC シリーズの数々の特徴を世界中の皆様に知っていただきたいと思いこの動画を制作しました。ぜひご覧ください。
Starting around 2010, the IT market saw a sudden rise in the popularity of smartphone and tablet devices. Handheld video game machines with LCD panels supporting high-resolution video were also starting to appear and become popular. It was around this time that M Systems started planning a new single-loop controller. Seeing the LCD panels being used in the game machines was an inspiration. We felt sure that these panels would give us a way to create controllers that would be much better than existing products at providing attractive displays of extensive information. So, we responded by creating the SC series, an unprecedented lineup of multifunction PID controllers that incorporate all the functions anyone could ever need in a next-generation single-loop controller. Let's take a look at 5 of the many benefits provided by the SC series. The first area we'll cover will be the display and operation features. The second will be the control and computation functions. The third will be the hardware and I/O interface specifications. The fourth will be the control output backup feature. And the fifth area we'll cover will be the network communication features. Let's start by looking at the display and operation features of the SC series. SC series models have the same display panels used in gaming consoles. The panels are 4.3-inch full-color high-definition LCD touchscreen displays with a resolution of 480 by 272 pixels. This pixel count is about 3.5 times higher than in previous models. The use of a touchscreen display enables intuitive, simple, and convenient operation tailored to many different display screens. To ensure that screens can provide enough of the information needed for the usage objective, SC series models have 2 groups of display and operation screens: operation views and engineering views. Tapping and holding the engineering key switches the screen group. Let's take a look at the operation views group first. The first screen in this group is the PID Controller's basic bar graph display screen. This screen has been designed with bar graph and digital display areas so that the PID control loop's process value, PV, setpoint value, SP, and manipulating value, MV, can be read at a glance. The setpoint value can be changed by using the up and down keys. Touching this area for PV switches between engineering unit values and percentages, which is handy for reading process values and setpoint values. A flat keypad hardware device is used to switch between the auto and manual control modes and change MV value manually. These keys work in all of the screens in the Operation Views group, enabling rapid operations when quick reactions are needed. Tapping the display key switches the display to the next screen. The dual-loop bar graph screen enables display and operation of two related PID control loops for processes such as cascade control. Tap the first or second selector key to select the loop you want to perform operations on. Tapping the display key switches the display to the next screen. The short trend screen is a combination screen that shows PID controller and recorder information. It can display trend graphs of PV, SP, and MV values along with one user-specified internal parameter, making it easy to check control loop response states at a glance. Tapping the display key switches the display to the next screen. This is the user's parameter table screen. This screen is used to assign and list up to 40 control and computation parameters, such as PID parameters, high and low alarm values, ramp program patterns, and timers. Data can also be changed from this screen. Assigning frequently changed parameters is very handy for system maintenance. Tapping the display key switches the display to the next screen. The digital display screen has been designed to enable easy management of PV, SP, and MV values as digital values. This area is used to assign 4 user-specified internal parameters and display the data. Touching the SP area displays a keypad. You can enter a numeric value and tap Enter to set a precise value for SP. In manual mode, you can also set a precise value for MV by the same method. So now we've covered all the screens in the Operation Views group. Next, I'll select the Engineering Views screen group by tapping and holding the Engineering key. Let's look at some typical screens from the Engineering Views group. We'll start with the Configuration screen. This screen is used to set communication modes, set various display and operation settings, and select user-specified bar graph colors. Now I'll select the Tuning screen by tapping the Engineering key. The Tuning screen is used to set PID control loop parameters such as proportional band PB, integral time TI, and derivative time TD. The screen has short trend and bar graph display areas and lets you adjust PID parameters while viewing loop responses. Next, I'll select the Real-Time I/O Monitoring screen by tapping the Engineering key. The Real-Time I/O Monitoring screen is used to list and check the current values of all the I/O signals. This screen is handy when doing system debugging or loop checking work. So as we've seen, the SC series has a wide array of display and operation screens. Each of these screens has a home key that lets you return to a pre-assigned screen at the touch of a button, no matter which screen you're currently on. The home key is usually assigned to the most frequently used screen, such as the bar graph screen. Now, let's move on to the second area of benefits provided by the SC series, the control and computation functions. In addition to PID control functions, The SC series also provides powerful user programmable functions for computation and sequential control. SC series models come with pre-embedded firmware modules known as function blocks that are used to execute control and computation processes. Users can easily implement the desired application control or computation function just by selecting and combining different types of function blocks and setting the parameters required. The standard function blocks provided are 2 control blocks with auto-tuning functions, 40 different operations blocks, and 12 sequential control blocks that let you write up to 89 lines of logical operation commands per block. The control cycles of control blocks and the computation cycles of operations and sequential control blocks can be set as fast as 50 milliseconds, providing ample support for applications requiring high-speed control. To support more complex and advanced applications, there are SC series models with expansion modules that increase the number of operations blocks and sequential control blocks to double the functional capacity. Now, I'd like to talk about the third area of benefits provided by the SC series, the hardware and I/O interface specifications. SC series models use an international standard size for the casing front panel, which has a width of 72 millimeters and a height of 144 millimeters. This standard size enables use of panel cutouts for existing electronic analog PID controllers or old single-loop controllers, so that the old units can be neatly replaced with new SC series units. The front touchscreen LCD display and keypad have a completely flat design. The entire surface is protected by hard-coated sheet material that provides a very hard surface with high resistance to scratches, chemicals, and solvents. The casing's IP55 protection rating protects the unit from splashing water. The rear terminal blocks have a 2-piece configuration, enabling unit replacement without having to disconnect terminal wiring. The major models meet CE marking standards and conform to the EU's EMC directive, Low Voltage Directive, and ROSE Directive. Each I/O signal line is isolated from internal digital computation circuits, creating a design with high noise resistance and no risk of ground loops. To enable the I/O interface to support a wide range of applications, SC series models come with 2 universal inputs, 4 voltage inputs, 5 contact or low-frequency pulse inputs, 1 contact or high-frequency pulse input, 2 current outputs, 2 voltage outputs, and 6 contact outputs. The universal inputs are also provided with a 2-wire transmitter power supply, enabling direct connection of loop-powered instruments such as differential pressure transmitters and level gauges. Now, let's take a look at the fourth area of benefits provided by the SC series, the Control Output Backup feature. Control Output Backup is a key feature that's indispensable for PID controllers and other equipment used for power station control or process automation requiring continuous operation for extended periods. SC series models with this feature have a standby backup module on an independent circuit for one of the two control outputs. If the SC series unit loses functionality, control output is maintained by switching to the backup module. The backup module can also be operated manually. An option is available that improves reliability by enabling power to be supplied to the backup module from a separate power source. When the control output has switched to the backup module, an array of 5 LEDs light to display the output, enabling manual operations from the flat keypad while checking output values. The backup module is mounted inside the SC series unit's casing, but it can function as a standalone unit while the main module is taken out. For example, the main module can be replaced while the backup module inside the casing maintains the control operation. Now, let's look at the fifth area of benefits provided by the SC series, the network communication features. The SC series includes advanced models supporting network communication. Two types of communication can be performed. One is the peer-to-peer communication used for I/O expansion. It lets you connect remote I/O units to a communication bus to increase the number of inputs and outputs and enable I/O signal sharing among SC series units on the same bus. The other type of communication lets you exchange data with host PCs or PLCs using Open Network Modbus RTU or Modbus TCP communication. Web Data Logger DL8 is an IoT remote terminal unit with a web server function. You can connect it to the Modbus TCP network to monitor SC series units remotely from the internet or receive alarm emails. So this type of communication could connect your SC series units in the field to the rest of the world. Now, we've covered the benefits of the SC series of multifunction PID controllers. Next, let's take a look at each model in the SC series lineup. Here is the basic model, SC100. SC200 is an advanced model that supports peer-to-peer communication for I/O expansion along with Modbus RTU or Modbus TCP communication. SC110 and SC210 are the models with a built-in control output backup module added to the SC100 and the SC200 respectively. SC200W and SC210W are models with expansion modules. They increase the functional capacity of models SC200 and SC210 by doubling the number of function blocks and sequential control blocks. SC200D is a model with pulse width output. It is used for control loops of equipment such as motor-operated valves with contact inputs for field terminals. The SC series also includes models for batch processes. SC200B is a specialized model for batch control. SC200BX is a specialized model for blending control. SC200E is a totalizer with an 8-digit integrating display function. It has a gas, steam, or fluid-specific temperature and pressure compensation function provided as a standard feature. The SC series is used in a wide range of industrial facilities such as power plants, petrochemical refineries, steel mills, paper mills, food processing plants, district heating and cooling plants, ceramics foundries, and water treatment facilities. For more information, be sure to take a look at M-System's product catalog that describes actual examples of SC series applications. Now, as we come to the end of the video, I'd like to mention that M-System does not discontinue products without providing a compatible replacement. A lot of manufacturers have recently been discontinuing single-loop controller models, mostly due to issues with manufacturing costs or a lack of specialist engineers. But M-System has made SC series models available without interruption since the series release, and specifications have been continually updated with the latest electronic components. M-System's SC series models are designed for replacement of various PID controllers made in the past.
施設の PID 調節計が廃型になり、リプレースやメンテナンスができずにお困りのお客様、設備の新設や改修用に新しい PID 調節計をお探しになっているお客様には M システム技研の SC シリーズをお勧めします。ありがとうございました。